Hello, I'm Christopher Lier, head baker at Bub and Grandma's in Los Angeles, and today I'm going to show you my 5 kitchen essentials. One of my favorite tools is this Petit Knife. One thing that makes it my favorite is the fact that I use it all the time. You know, Petit refers to the size. It's a small knife that you use in hand a lot. You can use it on the cutting board. It's bigger than a traditional like paring knife. It looks kind of like a miniature chef's knife. So this is something I use to like break down huge cases of fruit. As a pastry chef, you're going through fruit like all day. It also happens to be handmade and very nice. I got this at a place called Yoshihiro Cutlery, which is actually in Beverly Hills. You know, obviously to make something like this takes years and years of practice, but it's something too that, unlike a lot of the equipment we use in the bakery that's mechanical, or ovens that are like extremely complex with computers and everything like that, it's so simple and it's something that I can maintain myself. Having a very sharp knife for something like this is nice because you don't crush the fruit and you keep all the juices inside. So like all the good flavor is in there, and you don't make a mess of your table as well. Bench scrapers are one of the most common tools for a bread baker. You know, if you have a bench scraper and a good work surface and some containers to hold your dough, that's basically all you need. Typically, plastic bench scrapers, they're usually referred to as bowl scrapers because typically you would use them on like a metal mixing bowl. The metal is the only thing that's not gonna like flex under the weight of your arm. And a lot of times you really have to put a lot of weight into the motion with this tool. Something that's made of plastic would just kind of like bend under that pressure. You could use a knife for this. Bench scrapers typically are nice for cutting dough just because I feel like with a knife you would get all sorts of stuff all over the knife that you then have to clean off, and this is just so much easier to like cut dough, clean it off. One of my favorite tools is my hands. I feel a little weird about this one because I usually wouldn't consider my hands as a tool so much, but especially for bread baking, I would consider it a tool. The one thing I will tell anybody is touch any dough in this entire place as much as you can. Dividing the dough, shaping the dough, when the dough is ready to bake, all of those things take a really long time to learn. When we get a new shipment of flour from a miller, it may completely change the way we approach making a certain type of bread. Touching dough all the time is crucial. Another tool that I love is this Walnut Rolling Pin. I got this along with this other rolling pin here. I went to a farmer's market one time in New Hampshire, saw this guy selling wooden bowls and tools, and the first thing I noticed was they were incredibly cheap. Every time you see like really nice hardwood rolling pins, they're usually quite expensive. So this one here, you know, it's much thicker, so you get like more power out of it. It's got a lot more heft to it. It's also much longer, so you can roll out pieces of dough that are much bigger. One unique thing about both these two is they're like a French style rolling pin. So what that means is they're tapered, so they're not a completely straight gauge from the middle to the ends. You can see the middle is a little thicker than the ends, and it tapers off. It's pretty subtle. So a lot of times I do galettes here where the dough is very small. You take the exact piece of dough and you roll it into the shape that you need. So this comes out very useful for that sort of purpose. And all of these like little oddly shaped parts of this piece of dough, very easy to roll out with this sort of like belly that I was talking about before. You can have control over this so that you can shape it and kind of direct your pressure into very like specific spots of the dough. I grew up making food a lot from like a very young age, and pastry was a mystery to me, and definitely baking bread too. In a lot of ways, that is what attracted me to both bread baking and pastry. So that's how I got into it, and I think that's going to keep me going in both those areas for a long time.